Hello, Greg.
Hi, Miss Paula. How are you?
Oh, good. Oh, here comes Grace.
I see her. I'm going to make you the co-host. Yes, I should make you the host. So let me, did it take it?
Hi, Grace.
Hello.
Hello, hello, Grace.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Hey.
Who do you have back there in the mountains? You and who?
My parents.
I
I took them last year. Oh, get this. Look, we're all coordinated. Oh, you can't see.
I can't
Too
really
bad.
see.
Mom and dad are in so mom and I are both in these blue, Land's End tops that were on sale.
Oh, that's
And then my
nice.
brother sent my dad a nicer one. I don't know what brand. That's really nice and warm.
Mm. Oh, here comes Teresa.
Okay. Grace, you. Hi, Teresa.
Everybody.
Hi,
Hi.
Teresa.
Hello, hello.
I'm going to make everybody co-host just in case someone needs to,
just
just to get it over with.
yeah, just get it over with. Just get it done.
So everybody can be a co-host. Like, everybody has driving privileges until you wreck the car. Give me those keys. Dad, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault, Dad.
Oh, you are replaying a past conversation?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
no. Let me see, my daughter, what did she do? When she had her car, she didn't really run over this guy, but this guy ran into her on his bicycle. He was drunk,
Oh.
cracked the windshield, poor thing. And then my son, he thought he was Evel Knievel. I mean, he knew how to drive, and he would drive with one hand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're being cool.
Ran up over the curb. Tire went flat. I was so mad. I'm like, get out of the car, fix the flat right now. I don't know how to fix it, Dad. I don't know how to fix it. I'm like, you gotta fix this tire. Oh God. It wasn't a gentleman. It was like, you're too cool. He was like mhm. Yeah. Anyway, that was the daddy driving moments. Yeah.
All right. Now we're waiting on Paul and Sarah, right?
Paul still in Cuba?
Okay.
Is
Right.
he still in Cuba? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sarah she uploaded some stuff.
Okay.
Teresa, I want to brag about my although delayed Zoom skills, but I want you to notice everything's set up before the meeting starts.
I saw when I came in, already streaming live to YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I know, me too. It's like
I need some affirmation, so like
you may be the last one, Greg, but you did
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Someone needs to bring up the rear,
okay, I let Sarah in. Hi, Sarah. She's here.
Okay. So
Hello.
do you Madam Vice President, do you want me to show the agenda? Share the agenda?
Oh, I have that.
Okay,
Let's
well, you go
see.
for it. You go for it.
With my co-host abilities, screen share abilities. Yes, so here we have our agenda for tonight. It's so funny. I grabbed the governing board agenda. I was like, where's the Zoom? Where's the Zoom? And I put that in and it said governing board. I was like, oh no, that's not what I want.
I don't think that's the right one.
Oh, here's Paul. It says, I just let him in.
Miss Paula, I don't think that's the right one. Could you look down to see if it has election stuff on it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is the one. Here's the general comments. Okay, wait, now let me just go real quickly for you to see.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay, then you go ahead and share then. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, Paul,
Hello. How are y'all
brother
doing?
from Cuba.
Yes, that late Sunday night. So
All right,
Oh,
man.
still recuperating from, well, not recuperating, but still experiencing my company's bankruptcy. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
oh,
okay. I'm respecting it here.
I thought that was yours, Paul.
that was mine.
Is this the right? Is this the right one to March?
no, that says March 2nd Governing Board.
Oh,
We want March
my
20.
bad. My bad. My bad.
We want March 21st.
That was a good meeting though.
That was a good
It
meeting.
was.
So let me.
It was a very good year.
It was a good year. Okay.
We want Executive Committee 321.
Yes. Let me do it the old-fashioned way.
And while we're waiting, welcome to everyone. That's how we start off with our welcome. And
UNNC.
our roll call. So I can be doing
Yes, ma'am. You can do that.
here. I can be doing that.
Executive board.
So this is very quick and simple. Oh, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
got it.
Okay, now I can't be doing this. All right, so we have Greg Jackson here, Paul King here, Sarah Long Henry here. Is Sarah's here, right? Yes. I'm here and Grace is here. So the entire executive committee is present. All right.
Okay, so
Okay, now we're ready?
we're in and okay, that's that. So we're live streaming and we're recording and I am
Oh, we have
screen
Chris. Hi, Chris.
and I am screen sharing. There we go.
All righty. Yes, if you can scroll for me. Okay, here we are at the agenda. All right, so I've done the welcome, I did the roll call. And so now we need to look over the agenda. So we're going to have general comments and announcements, the executive committee business, secretary, treasurer, VP, president. That looks like the same. Vacant candidate applications, funding requests, committee reports, old business, items for next meeting, and adjournment. Can I see a show of hands of approval for the agenda or any comments at this time?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Okay, all right. Agenda is approved. So we will start off with announcements. If you go back there, yes. So I'm sure you all know, but I added this in anyway. Raquel Beltran, the general manager for the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, DUN, stepped down effective March the 2nd. And our new interim general manager is Vanessa Serrano, and she came into the position March the 3rd. There will be a UNNC candidate meet and greet this Sunday, March the 26th, 2 to 4 at 2270 Venice Boulevard. So everyone that's running for a seat, but we're going to have more discussion on this. We'll have a guest speaker at our before our April 6th governing board meeting, Taylor Smith, Director of Training, Community Health. And we will be discussing how to safely use and operate Narcan. And those are our announcements. Are there any comments? Okay. I can't hear who that
I think
is.
that's his background.
Okay. All right. So let's get on to our executive
But-
committee business,
We need to ask, are there any other public comments?
starting, huh?
We need to ask, are there any other public comments?
I did.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And then I heard that voice, and you said you thought that was background. So we're moving on now. Sarah Long Henry, you're up.
Sarah Longheady, let me give you sharing capabilities.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Paul, I'll do the same for you in a minute. Yes. And okay, you're good.
Okay, here are the minutes from last month's executive committee meeting. I'm gonna try to scroll down here. We had the attendance, usual opening, public comments, exec committee business. Funding requests. We had committee reports last month. And then we adjourned at 8:35. That was
Woo-hoo.
it.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Move to approve the minutes. All those in favor, show of hands. All right. Thank you. Oh, you know what, Grace, I had my mouse over your face and there's a little hand that does this, and I'm like, well, you put your hand up before I asked. That was me. Okay, next on our agenda is the treasurer's report, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, so go ahead and I think Greg or whoever's got admin can let me, I guess, do I need
No, you can
It
share.
to be
said-
approved? It's already open for that. Okay, hold
Yeah, you can
on.
share.
Let's just start with the dashboard of where we are expenses to date, which we're at the 21,467 amount with net available 28,634 available. We still have, I believe, election expenses to occur, and there's a couple of neighborhood purpose grants that have not been expensed yet. But we have sufficient funds at the moment to fund what we need. Any questions about this screen before I jump into the monthly expenditure report section?
No?
Okay, I just want to show that we have January, the MER is available, but it has not been approved yet because we didn't have it available at the last governing board meeting. So it's available now for our next governing board meeting. And then hopefully by then we'll also have the February MER available. Although we do have a number of unreviewed credit card transactions. I believe there's an outstanding request from the clerk to re-upload the BACs for a number of those expenses. So, which I just saw when I got back from my trip. So for those who made those expenses, if you have any questions about them, this is the credit card transactions list. Some of these, I thought it was the last 4, but it looks like these have been approved. So maybe I'll get with the clerk and find out what the question is on, you know, what these 4 unreviewed credit card transactions are, because I looked through the list and I didn't see anything that was flagged. So that's my to-do for this week and to be prepared for the governing board.
Paul, for clarification, I saw that the 4 were like Best Buy. And I've actually had a conversation with Anna and she had said everything is good. So I don't know why it's not
She
approved.
probably hasn't then gone in yet and cleared these, so. If they're not cleared in the next day or two, I'll shoot her an email and, remind her to go in and clear them in the system.
Thank you.
Okay, Laura, do you have a question?
No, I looked at one of the comments 10 minutes ago, if you can hear me. And what she seems to be asking is just to simply start over and re-upload each of those 4 things, but combined. So the BAC and the receipt over and over and over again. Seemingly what she's asking for, which I think Grace, you had already done once, but that was a today comment.
Okay, well, I'll give it a day, and then if it's not cleared, I'll shoot her an email and ask what is still needed, if anything. Thanks. Any other questions? Because that was all I was going to cover. I know in the coming month or so, I need to start working on the budget allocation for the next year, start getting that prepped, although we still have, I guess, 2 months to do it, but it's something that is better not left to the end to do, but that's definitely on my list of to-do items. And that's it for my report.
All right, thank you, Paul. Sorry
I
for
do
the big.
I see a hand. Greg is.
Okay, yes.
Paul, my concern is that with the amount of money we still have in the budget, if we could start thinking of what we are going to do with it, so that whether we want to, are there other charitable organizations that we want to support, or if we can project where we'll be at like May timeframe, and if we feel that we will be at that $10,000 rollover level or higher, and if we will be over that $10,000 rollover level, what do we need to do to give money away, basically?
Yeah, no, I think that question will be easier to answer once we get the election behind us and some of these election expenses. And maybe during that, if we have any discussion of that today, we can maybe, briefly revisit that question again. I know we did the last meeting, and then let's just see where we are.
Okay,
now.
thank you. Thank you, appreciate that. Okay, that's it.
All right, thanks.
With that.
Let me stop my share. Gesundheit, Chris.
I'm sorry, I was talking and you weren't hearing me. We had a question through the chat that said, is it possible to fix potholes for us to pay for the fixing of potholes in our NC?
Greg has an answer.
Yeah,
Great.
the UNNC would not pay directly for that. That could be, we would start with the 311 app.
Oh,
Let the community know, but it's not something that the UNNC would take on, because we will, yes. So, but we would use the 311 app to address those issues.
that's a good question, because the roads are getting rougher as it rains, and we're seeing far more potholes than we've ever experienced. So thank you, Grace. Okay, so it's my turn.
No, Chris has a hand up.
Oh, Grace, you have another question?
No, Chris.
No.
Chris,
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry.
on to that point, I think one thing that UNNC could do, because, we're supposed to be the voice of the neighborhood,
All
is
right.
we could do a high pothole survey of the worst, and actually create a map that shows the density and the severity of the potholes in our boundaries, and then submit that through CD10 and to street services and try to give some urgency. I mean, I know there's going to be potholes all over the basin after these rains, but at least we could try to focus the city into what our community feels are the most severe and egregious and highest priority potholes. And that's something we could do for our area, which is right in line with our mission.
All right, that's a great suggestion. And so where do we take that, Greg?
Well, anytime we have a task that we could do, then we need to have someone that's willing to take the lead on that task, that project of setting up the format for collecting the data and surveying the data and surveying people. So we would need to have someone that's willing to take that task on, or creating a form to put on the website to see if people would respond to that. So yes, that is something that we could do, but who would take
All
the
right.
lead on that?
We have Grace in the chat saying, since I brought it up, I will take on that task. All right. And so, yeah, we can talk about that a little bit more offline.
So if you're willing to take on that task, so let's coordinate of what resources would be available to help you in the process that we would have. So if, let me go into the.
Well, thank you, Grace. Oh, gosh, that's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm volunteering to work with you. How about that? So, all right, we'll get together and see what needs to be done. Chris, do you want to join the party, or you just want to make the suggestion? You're muted. Chris, you're muted.
I responded in the chat that I will work with Grace and you, and possibly we could take the data map base we have for our street trees, if we have, and we could then just layer the potholes on that same maybe digital database. I haven't seen that database, and I don't know if it's possible, but it seems like that would be a place to start.
All right, and Laura?
Yeah, let me reach out to Dan because he created that whole database. He's been not involved lately, but I was going to reach out to him anyway for something else. So see if he can help put a layer on it with you guys.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, one and all. All righty, and so it's my turn. I was anxious to get to it and you shut me down, but I'm still here. All right, so we are going to, oh, I don't have it written down. We are going to start off with attendance, although I put training up. We are still doing very, very well with attendance. And I'm just thrilled about that. That is really, we have, over 20 people, and we've always have good attendance, and that's a wonderful thing. And as far as the executive committee, I didn't look back, but for 2023, at least, we've had 100% participation for every meeting, January, February, and this month, March. So thank you, one and all. And then more good news, our training, oh gosh, which was such a headache there for a while. And I thought, man, what have I got myself into? And it's just flowing now. And it's just wonderful. We had a March class that was coming due for Jasmine. She's already renewed that. Now she's out to 2025 in that area. So the very next class we have upcoming is May. So we have May, June, there it is. We have May, June, and those are the closest classes upcoming, June. And so thank you, one and all. That is just an awesome thing. And then there was one more thing on the agenda, which I don't have in front of me, but I can talk about it. One of our board members asked about making running for the board more appealing to people with children if we had something in place to assist in that area. And Greg and I spoke on it, and it turns out it's very clear. If you run, you have agreed to what the parameters are to be on. We have strict guidelines on how many absences you can have and in your participation. And so that just has to be left to the individual. If you want to be on the board, then you figure out your childcare, and we as a executive council or governing board just not going to get involved in that. And so that's basically yes, Greg, do you have more to say on it?
Yeah, I do. I wanted to hear what the concerns are related to that and the discussion on the
Oh,
topic.
okay. Well, that person's not here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to know if anyone else has any thoughts on it first, on that concern. Because the way I see it is that the way for us to be efficient in our meetings, particularly with us going to in-person meetings, is that we just follow strict guidelines of well, I use that term very loosely, but guidelines of understanding that the governing board is the board where we are presenting information that the committees have already worked on, and we're voting up and down on that, and we're not stressing that we're not rehashing the committee's reports, or they're reholding their meetings in the governing board meetings. Says this committee has done the work, they're making their recommendation, here's their highlights, the bullet points, and that's presented for a vote. Now, I know people are curious about it, and people are, we follow the protocols of allowing people to ask questions about it. But if we just have that mindset, being mindful that more than ever, we want to try to finish by 9 o'clock, because people need to get home, and I don't want, my sisters and my brothers being out late at night, walking. So we really want to try to finish the meetings by 9 o'clock, and that means being mindful of our comments and not rehashing all the details. And I guess that's a mindset. And yeah, so those are my thoughts about it, because yes, if you got little ones, you gotta get them to bed, and little ones need to be in bed by, I don't know, 7 o'clock. Greg needs to be in bed by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But yeah, so those are my thoughts about it. So I do want to hear what people's concerns are about that and what they're suggesting we do.
Yes, rather than just the general comment. And one other point that Greg made was, and we don't want them bringing the children to the meeting. That could be a liability issue for us.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh,
I said that our concern was that we can't provide childcare services, because that would be a liability.
No. Yes.
People can bring whoever they want to bring to the meeting, as long as but for us to say that we're going to rent, get another room and hire my Aunt Ellen to provide services, that's a liability concern. So
all right.
We can't come.
Laura has her hand up.
Yes.
Thank you. For all the years where we met in person, people did bring their older children to the meetings and sit them in the back, and they did homework.
And they're
But
home.
I think the concern is the younger children. And we
Yes.
also had a couple of board members who are new parents, and every once in a while you would see a handoff between the other parent and suddenly say, I've got to go, here's the baby. And so we'd have a baby in the room for a short while. But yeah, but I agree with Greg. I don't think we can do child care per se.
No, that's not the business we want to get in. All right, well, I did want to, because a member asked about putting that on the agenda, and so I wanted to put it on and make those comments. All right, and that concludes my report. Greg, we are now on you. And while he's getting things together, that big dog barking, please forgive me. I got her out of the room and she's someplace else. You know, you never know when they're going to do that. She could sit here the whole time and not make a peep. But today, she wanted to be the big bad dog.
Okay. So on my area, I want to talk about a few things. One, and this is the unofficial committee chiming in on this. As you know, in April, we're going to in-person meeting. We are set to meet at the Gramercy Place apartment for our governing board meetings. And the committees will meet at the South Seas House. For the governing board, we have to maintain a quorum of individuals there, and that the rules for being present are really kind of strict, almost as strict as you were in middle school, where the authorized absences are few and far between, and reasons for an excused absence are few and far between. And if you are on using a hybrid option and on Zoom, then you need to keep your camera on for that, for the committee meetings as well as the governing board meetings. We're really working Teresa and Laura have worked extremely hard on getting the equipment set up and the places set up and secured. So I really applaud their efforts. But we want to be mindful of people's time when we come. We want to be mindful of starting on time and ending on time and being very efficient. At our last meeting, we did go over the details of the meeting, but that's the highlight of it. And so I will, Teresa or Laura, you want to add anything on just the highlights or concerns about the in-person meeting?
Yes, thank you very much, Greg. I actually have two comments, one about the Gramercy House and Gramercy Place, one about South Seas House. So just an update with South Seas House. As you know, prior to the pandemic, we used to host several meetings there. And now there seems to be resistance to us hosting these meetings without some kind of funding attached to it. So we have a calendar which has all of the UNNC standing committee meetings, a neighborhood association meeting, and the HPOZ meetings. The HPOZ, as you guys know, falls under city planning, and they are working out their own direct funding to recreation and parks. We have been trying to get it staffed as it was prior to the pandemic. And we are working with Eric Aguiar, our CD10 rep. We submitted all of the documents, necessary documents. We had a meeting with the superintendent of staffing for recreation and parks, and there still seems to be some resistance. Eric is meeting specifically with Kimani Black tomorrow to discuss this and how we can continue with our meetings without any direct payment, since South Seas, mainly because we used to do it not pay previously, but also because the South Seas House was not restored as a RAP facility with activities. It was for community involvement. So we need to find out what happens tomorrow with Eric and how the council district is going to help us with this. I did find out today that even though they're not open, if we reserve the room and we pay for it, then it will be open. They will staff it and it will be open. At first, we thought that maybe it won't be open no matter what, but no, if we pay for the evenings that we are requesting, then they will have it staffed. We have like 5 different plans. One was to have the person who staffs it on the weekend, to have him come in and just lock up. One for that same person to come in and the UNNC would pay him an honorarium. One to have Laura, who previously had a key, to have her lock up. So we keep putting out different options and they're just resistance from RAP. So we're gonna wait and have more a better idea tomorrow after Eric meets with Kimani to let us know exactly what we need to do. So in the meantime, Laura and I, we know that there was money set aside in the administrative budget for hosting meetings because we thought we'd have to pay greater fees to Gramercy, that maybe we should put forth a request to get funding just for April, and then just forget about the South Seas House and try to find another location to host all these meetings. So Laura, did you want to chime in? Oh, I know your hand was up, Chris, but if you don't mind, if Laura can just chime in. Thank you.
Right. So my thought would be, and this is partly contingent, the timing is contingent on whether or not there's actually a special meeting of this board. But even though a funding request is not on this agenda, it was in our admin packet, but maybe we can put on the board agenda funding for, I was just going to say 10 evenings. And that's a little more than just April, or potentially a lot more. I mean, it might take us through May if not all the committees end up meeting, because there's other logistics that's, will communications meet or not? I mean, there's some other logistics. And I think that would be $700. So we can't vote on that number tonight, but can we vote to put it on the next governing board agenda? I mean, and we're just pulling a number out of the hat because 10's an easy number. Technically, April would have 7 nights if every committee met on the night that we've got set aside. And then I think nobody wants to pay this forever. I mean, if we cannot resolve it, we need to find a different place because nobody wants to pay whatever it would be, $600 a month forevermore for a facility that was paid for with the kind of public funds that creates a community space in the first place. So we're just needing to make sure we have a place for April.
Yeah,
The city
that
clerk
sounds
has
crazy.
approved South Seas House, fully approved it for our meetings. And let me just say, it's also a challenge to find another space through the city clerk. So, we just want to sort of secure April if we can.
It's Laura, to your point, it's an administrative item, as you said, it's already in the budget.
We put I think $1,200 in the administrative budget but I think we also called it governing board meetings.
Yeah. It could be on the agenda.
Right. To be safe, it would, we're going to know more tomorrow. So
Right.
I don't know if we're going to know more tomorrow, which is a little more. So to be safe, if we could have an agenda item where we could essentially generate a BAC. We've already been approved by the clerk.
Yeah.
For South Sea,
Yes,
but she may ask for a BAC for the dollar.
I'm just saying.
Judging
Yes.
from her many requests to Greg, it would
Yes,
just be safer.
Yes.
BAC.
Right. So
Yeah,
Greg,
yes.
we're asking if we can have it on there. Well, I'll send an email to you guys tomorrow if we need to do that. And it'll be a funding request to pay for 10
That's
meetings at South Seas House.
very
ahead,
sad, but
Chris.
yes.
That's very sad.
So
Chris,
frustrating. I can't even tell you.
Is there any other groups or meetings that are happening and not having to pay? Because for years, I had a regular scout meeting at the South Sea Island House. There was a quilting group. There were neighborhood block club meetings. There's a long established history where the community had access, as there was the purpose of the house's restoration and development. And I just want to know, are we being singled out, or are there any
No,
other?
there are no other meetings that are being held without a fee. And we have had several meetings. Laura has been on these meetings. She has explained time and again the history of the facility. Donna Jones, who's on this call, has been there too, telling them that we have never paid. This building was for the community, for community meetings. And what's happened over time, the people have, new directors have come in, new administrators have been moved around, and they're more or less like, well, it's, the facility is closed at 6 o'clock. If you have a meeting pass, then you have to pay the fee. So we're just at our wits' end, but another option is to have, CD10 has a contract with a company that locks up Leimert Park every evening, to have that gentleman swing around and lock up the South Seas house. So we've been throwing out all these options, and we're waiting to see what we can do.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. So
Thank
sorry.
you. And it's egregious. It's absolutely, it puts grit in your teeth. It's given the history of the community to even have the South Sea House in existence.
All right, any other thoughts on that?
Not on the South Seas house, Greg. Are you going to talk about Gramercy now? Because I have some comment, a comment about that, or is that later?
Yeah, we could continue with that. I know that I need to circle back to Laura on our paperwork with that. But yeah, everything looks pretty good with that. They're very open to us being there. So yeah, anything that the two of you want to add on that?
Well, I will just say that I've been doing the testing there, and I have a funding request because it is a much larger room. Remember, the virtual teleconference system we have is geared for up to 15 people, and it works excellently, if that's a word, at South Seas House. Inside the Gramercy community room, it's a very large room with cement floors and wall-mounted air conditioning units. So all of that sound is a little bit difficult, and I have a solution for it, which I'll talk about later. But the meeting that you're proposing for the 28th, is that 6 o'clock demonstration, the Narcon, is that going to be in person? Is it going to be, okay, so are we going to Zoom that also? Or,
No, the 28th is a Zoom meeting.
okay, not the 28th. The very first meeting, April 6th, that we have.
Yes.
April 6th.
April 6th. So I'm not sure how to, we can do it. I have to work on how we're going to do a presentation. Maybe if the person is sitting down at the table, we can have them do it and have it on hybrid, so he's picked up or she's picked up on the screen. Also,
That'll
Greg,
work.
okay. Are we going to be serving food?
Oh,
Okay, and what time? And I guess I'm assuming you guys have worked out all these times with Letty, the community room manager, so she knows to have the room open.
I don't know. Well, Greg, you know, we were on your report. I don't know where we were on your report.
This is the hybrid meeting information.
Okay, this is a part of that. Okay,
Yes.
so that's a valid question. Those are things that we haven't thought about for years. Food.
Yeah, food is another item on my agenda later.
When to you know, let the
The
Gramercy
facility
Place,
director, the
know
community.
what time we need the room open and what time we need the room closed and all of those things.
Okay, well, I'm just throwing it out there.
Thank you.
Trying to stay in my lane. I'll try to have, I will get there
Let's
early
see.
because especially our first one, I want to be there an hour early. I want to have everything set up. I want to, because I feel that there may be nuances that I'm, you know, it's the first time using it, so I want to
Yeah.
make sure we have that kind of worked out. Thank you, Greg.
And Grace put in the chat, I will speak with Letty about opening the room at Gramercy Place at 5:30. That should be, and
Well, is that
our
5:30 to
meeting
have
is at
food,
7:30.
Grace?
No,
Or-
just open
I will
for
I will
setup,
speak to food in a second.
for
Okay.
ready, for whatever. And Laura has her hand up.
Yeah, well, I just want to ask Paula and Greg, do you mind? We're trying to figure out the technology as well. It may be easier to have the presentation as one Zoom meeting and the governing board as a different Zoom link, but that makes it's not hard to promote that, but is that what you had in mind? I mean, it might be easier for Teresa. Or not, we don't know yet.
We can do it. I mean, we could always pause. We could stop the stream after, if the demo is a half an hour, 45 minutes, we just stop it and then
Okay,
we start it
Yeah,
again. I
Yeah.
think.
We did that. I forgot. We met at 6:30. It was something with Dolores. I don't remember what it was, but that was fine.
Yeah.
We had the pre-meeting on coyotes. And then we paused a minute and then we just started our regular meeting.
right, but was that when we were already doing YouTube? I don't even remember anymore.
So Teresa and to Laura, to both of you, and to this upcoming meeting in April. Yes, we still need to talk with Letty about some exact details. And then I also have on the agenda the bringing in of food, and then with the presentation, I was sharing with Grace that normally I get back in the LA area about 6. It's so yeah, so there's some adjustments that need to be made even to my schedule coming in for that day, because I'm the food pickup person for the first meeting. So
Yay!
okay, so since we're I'm going to go out of order on my item. So the next item would be I'm going to talk about the food for our in-person meeting. Our practice has been to have a meal for the in-person meetings. I will pick up the food for the first meeting. I'm thinking what's in my head is just to go down to the Jamaican food place that's down the street and ordering enough for 30. Let me know if it sounds right to people. 30 people, and then bring it down to the place. And then in the governing board, we will have a sign-up sheet for who wants to be the food pickup person for future meetings.
For future meetings, okay.
So that's that part. The other thing that in my report, yes, I saw it. Did I see a hand? Okay.
No, that's okay. Never mind, Greg.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to share with you, or have on the agenda to share with you, is the updated roster, which Miss Paula had for her attendance training report. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
So this is again, this is all public information. It's on the Empower LA website, but we've updated our rosters, and what I want to highlight is the vacant positions that we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 vacant positions. So this is our updated roster. Our concern, and this leads into the thought about the concern for filling those positions, and then also looking at the need for the meeting. I think we decided we want to do it on the 28th. What we have done based upon our last governing board meeting, where people expressed concerns about letting people know, we sent out our normal flyer, MailChimp, post on the website for people to apply for those positions. We've been doing that. We didn't stress this as much in our last meeting, but we've been doing that for the positions that have been vacant, where we flew that one position that was vacant multiple times for people. You're good. We did that multiple times, and excuse me. Um, so we're supporting the process of giving people opportunities to apply for those positions. The concern that we have is that when we meet in person, I'm concerned, and others are concerned that, maybe people won't say that they can't come, but having the extra burden of showing up in person may be an attendance issue for us. And we want to do everything that possible to make sure that we fill those vacancies. So that's the overview of our roster. And the other thing I have is to talk about whether we will do a presentation. We have some candidates that are willing to fill those positions and that are present here today. And we will have them speak and present. Any questions on the overview of that? Okay. So, Ms. Paul, you want me to continue, or the first one is Candace Jackson. Candace Jackson is to fill the at-large representative position, Group A, seat 1-6. It expires 2025, and then we'll review her candidacy and then discussion and possible action. The action of the governing board, of course, is to review her candidacy and then to recommend if we will move it forward to the general governing board. Okay. Ms. Jackson, I saw her in earlier, but I don't see her.
I'm here. Hey,
Oh, you
everybody.
are?
Yes.
Okay, there you are. Okay, there you go. Okay. So let me see. I know, Ms. Jackson, I know that you were traveling this week.
Yes. I
Okay.
just got back earlier today from a work trip that I was doing. I went to a teacher session, so it was pretty good.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Jackson, can you present yourself? Tell us about your desire to serve on the board, any particular areas that you think you could serve at, any gifts, talents that you could bring to us, and any concerns that you might have.
Okay, so hello, everybody. My name is Candace Jackson. I grew up in Jefferson Park, which is part of the area that the neighborhood council covers. I'm sorry, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I grew up in the neighborhood, attended school in the neighborhood, and generally why I want to serve is because I want to be able to give back to my neighborhood where I grew up. I have really great memories of growing up here in the neighborhood, going to school, going to the local library and the parks. And so now that my daughter has gone off to college, I have a little more time to be more involved. And so it's kind of a promise that I've made to myself. I'm very passionate about public service. My day job is in public service. I work with policy for a nonprofit. And so I'm excited to bring that skill and my passion for the neighborhood to the neighborhood council. So that's my quick 5-minute speech. If there's any questions or anything else.
Chris, go ahead. Chris, hands up.
Greg, you're okay.
Can you got it right? Can you tell us what the nonprofit you work with? What area
Yes.
that's in?
So I work for Teach for America, which is a national nonprofit that places teachers in schools with underserved students. Just kind of my background with that. I'm a product of LA Unified. I also went through Teach for America myself as a teacher. I taught for 11 years. There I taught special ed and I taught third grade for about 4 of those 11. So in the work that I do with the nonprofit now, I am their director of government affairs for the state. So we have 4 regions in the state, and I coordinate their legislative meetings with assembly and state senators. Our lobby day, which is coming up in April. I monitor policies that come out about education, and we just build relationships to advocate for policies that help kids get more of the resources that they need in their school.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Jackson? And disclaimer, since we have the same last name, I want everyone to know there's no known family relationship that I know of.
Yeah, I know that's the disclaimer that we
Yes.
know of. My Jacksons are originally from Oklahoma, and that's on my daddy's side, and they landed in Santa Cruz, and some of them migrated down here. So
Right.
if you're not the Jacksons in Santa Cruz, we're probably not the same.
No, we're the Jacksons from Philly.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
We're the my dad's side is the city slicker side, Jackson side. Okay. All righty. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So for the executive board, then our position is just to vote on the motion whether we remove Ms. Candace Jackson to the governing board. At that time, we will, and then the entire governing board will hear the same presentation in perhaps more detail, and then vote to allow her to be on the board. And then I guess I should talk to them more about the training.
Wait, you can.
The training that they need to go through and all that good stuff. But that would be the purpose of one of the agenda items on our 28th, the 28th last Zoom meeting.
Okay, so you're speaking.
I'm making a motion that we approve Candace Jackson, move her to the governing board for approval for filling.
One of the vacancies.
Yes.
I second.
The at-large Group A, seat 1-6.
Okay.
Which expires 2025. Okay, so Ms. Paula, you're still up. You have first and second?
Yes, Grace seconded.
Yes.
And so now we just call for the raising of hands.
Wait, am I supposed to be here for this?
Yes.
I'm like, are you supposed to watch the vote? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, I don't like Candace. I don't want her. Oh no, just kidding.
No, we don't like you. We don't like you. We'll let you know. No, we won't.
All right.
We're not like
Did
that.
we?
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Candace. So you can hang around if you want. I know you were taking care of some. Issues, but you can hang around, or I know you were like extremely busy and running around taking care of essential items. So you stay as long as you want. Yes, ma'am.
I do have one question. The meeting that's the 28th, is that March 28th or April?
That's March 28th.
Okay, yay, I'll be here.
It's a Zoom meeting.
Okay, yay. So I'll double be here.
Even better.
It's a Zoom meeting. It's a Zoom meeting.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Candace. Okay. Next on the agenda is okay. Well, I guess I should do Laura. I have Laura's next, but I should do her later because that's a little more common. Let's do Ms. Cooper. Ms. Cooper to fill Region 5 resident representative seat Group A, which expires 2025. Discussion and possible action. Ms. Cooper, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm
Cooper.
good. I just pulled up at my house, so I'm in my car because just like the other member, I have a dog, and
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
and that wouldn't be a good thing.
Right. Okay. Well, Ms. Cooper, thank you for offering your service to our family, our extended family. Could you share with us how you desire to serve the community by being a member of UNNC, and share with us like the areas of service and present to us any questions that you may have.
Gladly. So I am a native Angelino, and I have lived in the Jefferson Park area. It's funny how all these neighborhoods have names now because growing up we we just would say, "Oh, I live off of Crenshaw and such and such. I live off of." So now they've broken up all the neighborhoods, so it's interesting. I we purchased a home here in 2003. So this year, actually, last week actually made 20 years of me being in this neighborhood. And when I first moved here, we were renting in Ladera. So, it it was a very well up, kept neighborhood. And so we wanted to kind of move to an area that was also well kept. And that is one of the reasons we decided to move here. And I wanted to ensure as a homeowner that, I was very active in being the change I wanted to see. So if I saw graffiti, pop up, anywhere in our neighborhood, because I'm always, when I'm driving, I'm always canvassing and looking and seeing, if anything is going on, I would immediately get on the phone and call the city, to let them know, because if you just let things go, then so goes the neighborhood. So I am just a real advocate of making sure that the neighborhood that I live in and that other residents live in who may not be as vocal as I am, to ensure that our neighborhoods are safe, clean, and just enjoyable. So that was one of the reasons why, when I believe I heard it on the radio. I heard it on the radio. Before that, I don't think I had ever heard of it. I was a member of the Cherrywood Block Club when I first moved over here. But as far as something like this, when I heard it on the radio, I think I emailed or logged on and contacted the person that they said, and that's how I got involved. So I would love to be a part of this council.
Okay. Floor is open for questions for Ms. Cooper. Seeing none, I make a motion that we approve Ms. Cooper moving her forward to fill Region 5 representative seat number 1, Group A through 2025. That is the motion.
I second. Did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, all in favor of moving forward? 1, 2, 3. And Sarah. Okay, good. So we're good with it. Ms. Cooper, so what will happen, Ms. Cooper, is that
Jones? No.
Ma'am? Well, Ms. Cooper, what will happen is that I will send you another link for the 28th, and we will create the agenda.
Okay.
And then what you did tonight, you just do it again. Same one of. I mean, you have to do it in your car. I mean, your dog can be sitting beside you. Your dog can be my dog and all that good stuff. So yeah, so that's it. And so you're more than welcome to remain. No, you should go inside the house instead of just sitting there. But,
No, I will go in. I'll put you on. I'll put you on mute.
Okay.
I did have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
There was an email that I think you sent that said there was a candidate meet and greet, and I believe it was supposed to be this upcoming Sunday.
Sunday from 2 to 4. I will. Yes, and it has the location for that. So that's where we will gather, and then you get to smile at people and shake their hands and say, hi, I want to help make your neighborhood better, so vote for me. So yes. So your political campaign. Yes.
Well, I've never met a stranger, and my friends will tell you.
Okay.
So I look forward to meeting you all in person.
Okay. And Miss Lizzie,
Thank
Ms.
you. I'll
thank-
put myself on mute.
Okay, Ms. Lizzie, our election committee chairperson, has her hand raised. Ms. Lizzie?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I got tied up with work, even though we are supposed to be on strike, but this was my time to catch up on everything. So, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it's already 7:30. But anyway, yes, I wanted to know if Candice and Diana had heard about the, I know that Diana has, but Candice, are you aware about our meet and greet and the email that I sent a few days ago?
Yes, I think I saw a date for a meet and greet, but I wasn't sure about the date of it for it's on this Sunday.
It's this Sunday at Star LA. The address is there in the email from 2 to 4.
Mhm.
So yes, that was an invitation, and I was gonna send a reminder to
Okay.
everyone.
The only issue is on Sunday, I'll be in Oakland for work because we have
Oh,
some meetings up there, but I'll be back on Tuesday, so I'll be here by the
All right.
meeting for Thursday.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Lizzie, any other thoughts? Thank you. Okay.
Not at this time, but
Okay, appreciate
yes.
the information.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay, so next, all right, so next is Laura Myers, who is already in a seat. So let me finish my long spiel here. Who's already in a seat, but she is opting to move to a vacant seat that expires. It's to fill an at-large representative seat, Group A, seat 1 through 6, that expires 2025 in, yes, so she's moving from one at-large seat to another at-large seat, and this at-large seat has it expires in 2025. Vice running for election for the current seat that she's in, which will expire like 4 years from the election. So I think part of our open discussion should be, does she need to resign from her current seat? Or are we okay with doing it kind of like simultaneously? You know, I mean, I don't want to be a stickler for the rules, but I just want to make sure we address all that. So it goes without saying, Laura Myers' work, but Laura, so you're up to do your presentation about moving in. Hi, Laura Myers. If you were elected to the board, what would you do?
Well, okay, well, first I actually thought about it. And if you read my candidate's board application, I really wanted to focus recently, and I'm building on this, on UNNC building more partnerships with our local nonprofit organizations. So we started to do it with Garden School Foundation and World Harvest and several others. But there's a couple of dozen nonprofits that either are headquartered here or have important aspects of their activities here, like Talents is headquartered here, but they've got several projects going. And, we're always trying to build our outreach, but it's really hard, especially it's been in COVID, but it's really hard when you have 80,000 stakeholders to reach all of them and reach them over and over again. So failing that, and we have, but so is every neighborhood council, what's another route? And another route is to work with people concerned, or work with PATH, or again, work with World Harvest, or work with, I'm forgetting the full name, but the organization at 10th and Adams that deals with emancipated foster children. And bring our good works together with other partners. So that would be my new goal, but building on what we're already doing. And we're doing it for Ciclavia. Just by the way, for Ciclavia, we're kind of working on having a group of our community partners who were already going to have booths, but we're all boothing one after another to try and build on. So you know I work hard, I show up. I mean, so that obviously, but that's really what I was thinking about would be a good additional mission. And in terms of the bureaucratic question, I think Lizzie would be able to answer it. But I think when we did the same thing with Lizzie a couple of years back where she swapped seats, it was sort of a resignation letter that was as of the appointment, so that it became vacant the moment that the board did approve, appointing her to a different position. So I think that's technically the way, because you cannot hold 2 seats at once. That's clear.
Right.
So,
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Myers? If not, here's my motion for Ms. Myers to fill the at-large representative group A seat 1-6 expired 2025, pending and in concurrence or in conjunction to receiving her letter of resignation from her current seat. How's that sound? Verbiage enough.
Grace is a lawyer. Does that work?
That works.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
All right, so that's the.
Yeah. Now,
that's been
technically,
properly-
should I be leaving the room?
No, let's stay around. What people gotta feel like they leave the room? Like,
Candace and Diana are on. You're allowed to be in here
you're allowed
too.
So.
Besides which, this is all
Yes.
videotaped, and if you want to see,
Yeah,
all you have to do is turn it on and
Yeah.
you'll see. So
All in
the point?
favor, moving it forward.
Did we have a
to the-
second? Greg, did we have a second?
I think Grace did.
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
second.
I think she, oh yeah, he did. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we all voted for you. So very good. Thank you. Yes. Okay, good. All right.
So
all right.
I will prepare the letter for you, Greg. You'll have
Thank
it.
you, thank you, Ms. Myers. I appreciate that. I appreciate your constant work and service.
Mhm.
Okay, next, last but not least, we have Sir Saunders, Edward L. Saunders, to fill at-large representative seat, Group B, seat 7-11. This expires 2023. So with Ed, he's going to, if he's elected, if he's appointed to this position, he's going to fill the position in April, and then he needs to be on the ballot again for the seat. So
Would you repeat the seat?
So if we approve this,
Uh-oh.
he will fill the seat in April, May, and June for
Yeah,
this the term of this balance of this year, right? But then he will also be on the current ballot, which we are doing in April, for the next 4 years.
Okay.
So we will see a lot of Mr. Saunders, right?
I asked if you would repeat the seat that he is.
Very well. I'm sorry. Sorry, man. I was on a roll. To
Yes,
fill the at-large representative Group B, seat 7-11, 20 to expire 2023.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sanders. Did we lose him? I don't see him. Where's Ed? Okay.
He's here. He was.
I think his internet connection was unstable because he kept popping in and out.
Yeah,
And he wrote need to leave for now.
Yeah, he's
in the
not on
chat.
our participant list.
Someone's
right now.
called in as a phone caller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could that be possibly?
Let me just call him and see what he says.
Okay.
Maybe he can speak through the phone. I don't know if that'll work.
Yeah, I saw him on. Oh boy.
I have a question while we're trying to find Ed.
Uh-huh.
Since these are all appointments to vacant seats, each of these candidates,
Hey.
they are confirmed at our
Hey,
governing
you come
board,
back?
are they aware of the need to quickly get trained so they can actually be fully representative participants and can vote and the like? And is
If you
there,
come on, you'll be finishing right.
they've been keyed into the amount of training and the need to try to expedite that so they can be effective?
I believe Greg was going to speak to that, and I believe he has spoken to them about that, but once he gets off the phone, we'll have to have him clarify. Because he started saying training, and he's like, well, never mind, let's just hear from the candidates.
Ed will be back in a second.
Okay.
And then I'll ask your question. I didn't hear all your questions, but it was some about training and the obstacles and all that stuff.
Since these are filling appointments to fill a vacancy, the goal would be to have these people fully participating as soon as possible if they're confirmed at the governing board to fill those seats, because otherwise they can't vote until they've taken their ethics and their training. So have each of them been informed of the training, the amount, how to access it, and should they be confirmed at our governing board meeting that they can quickly get up to speed? So going forward, we have those seats active and representing the neighbors.
Yes, there are conversations still to be held about the training and the obstacles, and what I've been doing over the last couple of years is walking people through that, because it is there. So it's like actually helping them log in and get all that done. So yes, so I hope it doesn't scare them all away, because I hate.
Oh no.
I have my thoughts about training.
Yes, we've kind of
like doctors don't want to go to the doctors, and educators don't want to go to more training. I know that. Okay, Ed sends back. So I want Sir Saunders. Sir Saunders, I'm sure you heard the spiel about introducing yourself and how you feel you would serve the community as a member of the board.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, I was still walking to my, okay, I didn't really hear what you were saying, actually.
So, sir, could you introduce yourself and share with us how you would serve as a member of the board?
Oh.
Abby, cannot hear you.
Is it because I'm muted or what?
You're no longer muted. You're no longer muted. I can hear you now.
Okay,
you can hear me
here
now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I am Edward Saunders, and I will serve the board in whatever capacity that I think I can. I'm not that familiar with all of the operations of the board, and that's sort of difficult for me to say exactly how I would serve, but I'm open to use my knowledge of the neighborhood and my personal skills to help move the needle on getting some things done. I think I outlined in my the application some of my concerns, which are, like I said, quality of life, and I just Chris probably knows. It's always been a pet peeve of mine, is just these commercial operations in our neighborhood. They just seem to take advantage. That's just been a pet peeve of mine for years. And maybe resources and or influences that could possibly change how people operate and serve us in their pursuits of profits. So I don't know.
Any questions for Mr. Saunders?
I have a question. You were saying your area of experience. What is your area of experience? Mr. Saunders, yeah. What is your
I've
field?
had, I worked in the real estate finance area for like 15 years as a loan officer, and I've done property development. I've rehabbed some properties in the neighborhood. That's on that level. That's my professional experience.
Thank
Basically.
you. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Any other questions?
I want to say Mr. Sanders knows a lot of stuff.
Okay, that's broad.
He's pretty low key right now, but when
Yeah.
I talk to him from time to time, it's like it's sitting at the feet of wisdom. I'm like, dang, that's good. I'm like, there's a lot going on up there. So he's being really low key tonight, but there's a lot of stuff going on up there. So
Laura has her hand up.
Yeah, no, I've known Ed for years and he is being very low key. He's been a community activist. He, again, has, taken really downtrodden properties and brought them back to life. He didn't just rehab it, house here and there. But more importantly, he's been very much an activist in the neighborhood, involved in many different community things. And apparently learned how to cook really well for hundreds of people, right? When he was working with Eric every holiday season. So that's probably not an attribute we need for UNNC. But what I, over the years talking to him, and more recently especially, I think he's kind of working around a committee we don't currently have active, which is our Economic Development Committee. But I think with COVID ending, I think we as a board should consider trying to figure out how to reactivate that committee. And I know Ed would participate. Chris had been involved. There are other people in our community could do that. So I would say, hopefully, I'm hoping that that's where Ed would become involved.
All right, and Chris has her hand up.
I will speak to Ed from Western Heights Neighborhood Association, where Ed has been in the trenches, and he's that kind of guy who's in the room, and when you ask for help on something and nobody else puts their hand up, Ed's the guy goes, I'll do that. I can pick up the tables. I'll be there. I'll do, he's your anchor on stuff. He readily fills in the holes, and that's over 30 some years of activity in the neighborhood association, as well in the West Adams Heritage Association. He's just one of those guys who steps in and fills the gaps. So I wanted to share that from my experience.
Right. Greg?
Thank you, Chris.
Where did Greg go?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, so so the motion is for Edward L. Saunders to fill the at-large representative Group B seat 7-11, 2023, pending in conjunction with Laura Myers vacating that position.
Second.
Show of hands, all in favor? Okay, good. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you for your evening. I'll talk to you.
All right.
Talk to you later.
You.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
One thing, please.
Yes, Miss Lizzie.
Yes. Hello, sir. Nice to meet you. My name
Yes.
is Lizzie. I'm the chair of the elections committee this year.
Mhm.
Did you receive our email invitation inviting you to the meet and greet on Saturday?
Mhm.
Will you be able to join us?
Did you say, is it Saturday or Sunday? I was under the
It's
impression.
on Sunday, the 26th from 2 to 4.
Yes, I plan to be there.
Perfect. Look forward to meeting you there.
Okay. And me too. Okay. Thank you. And I will see you Sunday then.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Next item. It's a funding request. We have a funding request for purchase of microphone. Purchase additional microphone to augment the Polycon Studio hybrid meeting technology up to $150.
Thank you, Greg. If you could just make that a little bit larger so everybody can see it,
Okay, okay.
or I can do it. Yeah, that's good. So as you know, the system that we have is for 12 to 15 people. I've done 2 tests at Gramercy Place, and the AI in the system and the camera works fine, identifying people many feet out, and we'll all be sitting. So it'll be able to track all of us, but the audio, about 15 feet or so, we lose audio quality. And this is I'm trying to find a temporary measure to get by, because we did talk about getting a proper, a similar system, but a proper one that can accommodate a larger group. We decided, I think, I don't know if it was executive or governing board, that we would try the system that we have and see how it functions. So I've done a couple tests, both times when I'm very far from the sound bar, the virtual bar, the audio fades out. So this is a microphone that attaches to the system that can be placed in the center, or I'm not quite sure if we're doing a U shape or how we're doing the table layout there, but this will give us some additional audio. It's integrated. It's part of the integration
Teresa,
that can happen with this system. Sure, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Teresa, augmenting needs are essential. I'm totally in support. Shouldn't we put it up to maybe $200 or $225 so you have a little more flexibility?
Yes, not just that, but I do have 2 other things that we need on there. An extension cord, one I went over. Greg, if you could just go down a little bit on that document. We need an extension cord because where our tables are going to be as far. And then also, on our laptop, we have a couple of ports, but if we need extra flash drives or something, we need to have this gadget, which will give us some additional ports on the laptop. So the whole thing, I think, came to 220 or something like that. So maybe we should make it 250 and call it a day. So I'd like to make a motion to purchase additional technology to go with our hybrid system for in-person and Zoom meetings at Gramercy Place.
I second.
And the dollar amount would be
250.
250. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
and I
guess we have to
seconded.
vote.
This is Paula.
Right. And we're voting.
Great. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's hope this works.
Okay. Thank you.
It will. We don't have
Thank
to hope.
you. Thank you, our tech team on the spot.
Yes, and we are going to have a real tech team at some point, just so you guys know. I'm going to make a request to have an ad hoc tech team or something, so it's just not me and Laura trying to figure it all out.
Yes.
Well, kudos to both y'all's hard work, because I know it's a big scramble to try to get it right, and nice job.
Thank you very much.
Nice job. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay. Madam Vice President.
sorry, you couldn't see me clapping.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. You're up, Madam Vice President.
Okay, I don't have the. Let's see.
Let me show.
So we're done. We did the funding request. We did the election. Oh no, just committees
reports
now. Okay, so Lizzie, do you have any more to report? Is Lizzie still here?
Yes, Paula, I'm here.
Okay.
Just wanted to say, on the elections, that's right. So with the latest developments, at this point, we just so we will have the meet and greet on Sunday. We were also planning to hold a virtual candidates forum, but we are still not sure if that is going to happen. If it does, we will be sure to let you know.
Okay.
But on a past event, I just wanted to thank Greg, Grace, Laura, and Dolores for helping us help some neighbors fill out their applications for a vote by mail ballot. That was held on March 11th,
Okay.
the afternoon at the Jefferson Park Library. So for that, just wanted to acknowledge their help. And we had very few people who stopped by, but we did help them fill out their applications and let them know about the neighborhood council system. There was a lady in particular who has lives in Jefferson Park and has her family. So she went back home with all that information. And also, as far as outreach, our next event is on April the 1st. We will be supporting the event at the Easter, the spring celebration at Benny Potter Park. So the UNNC will be there as well. And then on April 16th, it's the C'est la Vie event. And it just happens that many other organizations are trying to join us that day, and we have been increasing our request for more tables and more booths. So we will have WAHA, we will have the Rediscovery Center join us at the event. Also the AIA, which is the outreach division, I believe, of the architect group here in Los Angeles, and maybe even DADA. They have expressed an interest in partnering with us for future events. So that sounds very promising. I believe that the neighborhood council system as a whole, and UNNC in particular, is gaining more prominence, and it's people are being more aware now. And as these new organizations settle in our footprint, it is great to know that they do want to work with us. So that is coming up. And so the C'est la Vie event is on the 16th. And then if we have an election, it will be on the 22nd. So
Thank you, Lizzie. And on April 1st, the spring celebration at Benny Potter Park, what is the time of that event?
I still don't have the details, but
Okay.
I will be sure to let the board know. And also, I just sent also for this Sunday, for the meet and greet, I just sent a notification to all board members to please show up and be ready to, to meet the new candidates, but also share our own experiences, what the expectations are from them, and all that. It's the perfect opportunity to do that. Yes. Paul.
Yeah, I'm just curious about the costs. Can you give us an update on, what maybe has been spent to date versus what we were anticipating? Or maybe Laura can answer that.
Yes. Laura is actually handling the paperwork and dealing with the city clerk. Yes.
So
Laura.
we've spent zero on the March 11th because I just decided what the heck. We already had the water bottle, and I bought some wrapped pastries out of my own funds because it was just going to be easier. And we didn't consume them, so we still have them, maybe half of what we need for Sunday. But essentially, the cost of this coming Sunday will be approximately $55 for the coffee service, that another $50 for the wrapped pastries, brownies, that's all wrapped thing, pre-wrapped, pre-packaged, pre-wrapped. It looks like the city clerk is saying we do not need to have our own insurance, so we don't need to pay for that because we're getting a certificate of insurance, the COI, from the venue. So she's saying that's probably fine. And that's how much we'll be spending on it. We had budgeted $400, but we'll spend that. Earth Day will cost what we think it's going to cost. That's not on the agenda. And remember, that's the ancillary, but really important event. But I did just meet with the council office, and now we're going to meet once or twice a week because it's 4 weeks away. But we will be rolling on the providing of food. So that's the big issue. So that the cost on that for Earth Day will be the cost we expected. Council office picking up all of the tents, tables, chairs, permit fees for the street, but everything we anticipated will be spent essentially, if that's your question. And we're not having the other in-person session for helping people fill out the ballot. So we had, so that cost is gone. We're not having it.
Okay, thank you.
Teresa?
Thank you, Paula. The Easter egg hunt, the spring egg hunt at Benny Potter Park is from 10 to 1.
Okay. Okay. I remember that now. Easter egg hunt was what I was missing. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa.
Okay. Did we have anything for planning and zoning? And thank you, Lizzie. And thank you for your service, Lizzie. And I'm gonna miss you.
Of course. I will still be involved in little things here and there. You'll still see me around.
That's good, because I don't know what I would do if I didn't.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Congratulations on your job too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we know you are filling the minds of those young high school students, and that's a blessing for them.
One day at a time. We are definitely learning from each other.
Yeah.
It is an experience for sure. Thank you.
I put planning and zoning on, even though I hadn't heard anything from you, Laura. Did you have anything for planning and zoning? If not, we'll move on to the next category that you asked to have placed on the agenda. So Laura, are you there?
She's there somewhere.
Laura. Is there any other committee that would like to report out while we're waiting on Laura? I don't see any other reps. Okay, so it's on Laura.
Well, when she comes back, or Madam Vice President.
Yes.
So I will draft the agenda for the 28th.
Oh, there she is.
So if anybody has any input for that, please send that to me and I'll do wide distribution for input for that. So I'll get that out for the end of the week.
Yeah, okay. And Laura, we were calling on you for if
Sorry, I just stepped away.
I put planning and zoning on, even though I hadn't heard anything. But if you don't have anything for that, then the next area is yours as well. So please go for it.
May I just add one thing before I leave? I'm so
yeah.
sorry, I forgot about so DADA approaching us and saying that they are definitely interested and willing to have a conversation on using their facilities for the monthly governing board meetings. So
who is this?
What?
DADA, the Debbie Allen Dance Academy.
Oh,
yes.
They did?
We received an email from them. I just haven't had a chance to reply that yet, but they are definitely interested too.
Is Teresa still here?
Yes, I'm still here. I was just
I'm
going to
so
ask,
sorry.
what is that about?
Well, I don't know, but maybe we can have some committee meetings there if it comes down to it. But we need to explore it, Lizzie, because of the ADA thing. I'm sure they are ADA, but there's just a lot of stuff with the city.
Yes. Okay, so I will be forwarding that information.
Thank you.
that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Laura, back to you.
Okay, so of course, there's always stuff with the planning and zoning committee, but the main thing, but the main thing I'd want to say is this coming Thursday night, there's an in-person meeting at 60, I want to say 6020 or 6030 South Crenshaw at the West Angeles Community Room. That's right.
Yes.
So it's one of those two addresses, but it should be obvious what the building is. The
It's
meeting,
6030.
okay, 6030. The meeting is being conducted by LA Department of Transportation, LADOT, and it's regarding the streetscape type improvements and ADA and some other things for Crenshaw Crossing, which is actually in our footprint, as you know, on Crenshaw between Obama and Exposition.
Yeah.
So Teresa's definitely going down there to represent the Planning and Zoning Committee itself. Greg is going to be moderating the Homelessness Liaison Committee meeting. Laura, it doesn't get to do either of those fun things. I have to take a training on the new portal for community impact statements because they're changing that all up, all the troubles everyone's had. But it would be really good if a lot of people, when I send out on the MailChimp and e-blast with all the information for the meeting, and again, it's in person from 6 to 8 at 6030 South Crenshaw. And some of the feedback that had happened, we triggered it into our Planning and Zoning Committee meeting the other night, is that none of the outreach had even gone to the neighborhood councils where this project is. In other words, UNNC and the West Adams Neighborhood Council had no outreach from the city to us about this. And equally important, or more important, there was already a year and a half previously of meetings on and off, but about the first mile, last mile. I mean, much of this is now a repeat and hopefully not different than the adopted streetscape plan that City Council adopted some years ago and was to be further implemented in this other plan. First mile, last mile, meaning what happens with trees and sidewalks, et cetera, in the miles around metro stations. So anyway, so that's a big thing. There's other things, but anyway, that's the big thing. Yes.
Laura, you said Thursday. Is that this Thursday, March the 23rd?
Thursday, March 23rd, 6 to 8. And
6 p to 8 p. Okay.
Right. However, Homelessness Liaison Committee is at 6:30, and
Okay.
it will be a meeting with the mayor's representative for the Circle program. So, we can have a lot of stuff going on simultaneously.
Okay. Thank you. Sarah was asking. So the date is the 23rd. The time is 6 p.
Yes.
to 8, and the location is 6030 Crenshaw at the Community Development Corporation for West Angeles, or their senior housing. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. And then you were going to the next subject. Is
Right.
you.
The next, yes, and this is sort of, you have me, but it's somewhat jointly me and Teresa. So UNNC is different than most neighborhood councils in that we do not appoint entire committees. Many neighborhood councils have, 6 committees and they appoint 8 people to each one of them. So when they meet going forward in person or hybrid in person, they have to have quorum because they'll have 8 members, whatever the number is, but they'll have to have 5 people in the room. How we do our committees is we just appoint the chair or a co-chair. So the quorum, if all we have is a committee with one chair, the quorum is that person, the chair. Or if we have 2 co-chairs, the quorum is 2. That's both of them. If we have 3, then 2 is still a quorum. But I'm getting a little concerned about what happens if the actual committee chair is traveling or is ill or anything else. So I'm sort of wondering if there is a way that's not completely illegal for us to create a system of alternative chairs, maybe the officers and the Zoom moderators, to be able to substitute in as a chair if a chair is not available to run one of our committee meetings. Other neighborhood councils do have even boards that have the elected board member and the alternative board member. So if the person number one's not available, the alternative can sit in and vote motions just as if they were the board member. So this is the beginning of a conversation. What would be required is somehow a change to our standing roles. I don't think it requires a change to the bylaws, which would not be possible. But if we were able to kind of figure out something creative in our standing rules, I think we'll be able to conduct most meetings. But I mean, for example, I am not sure for the environmental committee if Elizabeth, I think Elizabeth will be on the road with her parents from Kansas to Los Angeles, leaving, I want to say the 10th of April. The meeting is on the 12th. It might be on the 13th, but I don't know that she's really going to get back in time. So we might have to have canceled that meeting. So, and this, we won't be able to solve the problem by then. I mean, this is a little bit longer of a conversation, I think. And Greg has to see it.
No, I think that what we should do is meet maybe one day during the week to talk about this chairs, co-chairs, alternative chairs. And then we could also talk about Gramercy Place also. So right. I could probably schedule that during lunchtime.
Okay.
Tomorrow or Thursday or even
Friday. Tomorrow's impossible.
Okay. What about Thursday?
Thursday's really okay. And tomorrow, just as a continuation of today, which has been impossible.
Okay. So I'm gonna put down that I'll call you at noonish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think there's Zoom, but call you at noonish and then we could discuss all of those.
Right. But I just don't even know. I mean, it would have to be very legal.
Yeah. And the conversation would be, these are what our thoughts are. Then we make a proposal to the city and review the stuff. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, we can address that. Okay. Anything else?
I'm sorry, I muted myself. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Was that it, Laura?
Yeah,
okay,
that's it. Yeah, there was no proposal to vote on because I mean it's the
Okay.
beginning of a conversation.
Grace, what does that note mean? Located in Park Mesa Heights. Is that the 6030?
Yes, 6030 Crenshaw.
Okay.
You know, when you say West Angeles, the first thing I think of was the West Angeles church.
The church at Crenshaw.
It's not, right. It's
Crown
West
Exposition.
Angeles Villas,
No,
and
this
it's
is-
in Park Mesa
Yes.
Heights.
Yes, the villas, which is associated with the Community Development Corporation, which is a separate entity, but a part of West Angeles. So says the receptionist for West Angeles. Okay. All right, then, so the next item, I believe, is agenda items for our next meeting, our next governing board meeting. I'm sorry.
Old business and then.
Oh, it's old business. Okay, old business. Do we have any old business to conclude? Okay, agenda items for the next governing board meeting.
If you don't have anything here, if you think of things between now and Friday Friday, you could send that to me for the special meeting and then for the meeting in April also.
Okay, for the special, okay.
So any, I know we supposed to actually do the draft of the agenda here, but what normally happens is that it comes out later on. But I think we know a few things. We will have the candidates presented, some budget issues and technology issues, and then there might be some other funding requests.
Yeah, the candidate appointments, that's definitely.
Yeah. So I think the meeting should be pretty efficient. but we don't want our regular in-person meeting to be long. We really want to stress that first in-person meeting, we want to finish by 9.
Yes,
We want people to feel good.
I
We
sure
want them
do.
to eat good. We want to dismiss by 9, so,
Oh, boy, all righty.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you all. Laura has her hand up.
Yeah, I do. Greg, in the past, we ate, at the board meetings, we ate like right in the middle of the board meeting.
Mhm.
But since we're gonna be on Zoom, would it be better if we sort of ask board members to come early if they're gonna eat and eat off camera?
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as long as you don't eat with your mouth open, I don't care.
I mean, many
normally
are
when-
coming from work and this is
Yeah,
dinner
well,
time.
this is me. When I'm in a meeting, I mean, my whole life, if I was at a meeting, I never eat at a meeting, but that's just me. But other people, no, I don't. No, just leave people alone. Let them
Recall us when we
Yeah, as long
were
as you're
in
not
person.
slurping and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't recall people eating as we met at any.
No,
but
we always had.
We did.
We would eat during the meeting, but
Okay.
we weren't zooming it. We weren't broadcasting. it.
Right.
But I mean, when we go to other meetings, people speak and eat, and I guess not to eat when you're speaking. So no, I wouldn't do that. I think people can
Teresa.
just manage it, so.
Thank you, Paula. I have that question too, because I don't know, we've all been on Zoom for a long time and people are Zooming from home or the office. You never see them eat.
That's
You never see
true.
them attend Zoom. Yes, we drink water, coffee, tea.
Except for I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we never see people eating. So I just wonder, is that really, appropriate for us to be sitting around a table eating while we're trying to conduct business with community members on Zoom? Just my personal.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't. And me personally, the food is in the way. I got papers and stuff in front of me. So I would always make my plate after the meeting and then take it home. That's why I didn't remember the eating, because I didn't get a drink and that's it. So you know what, Greg, we're all going back to this in-person thing. Let's just see we need to just see how it works out.
Right.
I don't even know that that'll really be a problem.
Yeah. But like I said,
because
I
people
don't
have
eat
their
in a
own.
meeting because
You personally don't. I personally don't, because I don't want my papers getting in my food.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I remember the people who sat on, God, was it the south side of the U? At the end. So that was me, I think Chris. I mean, we ate, we had little food going all the way down the table, and then our piles of the papers and all that. And that is another question. Are we going to stay as paperless as possible, Greg? Are we still going to use the agenda packet? I mean, that'd be my preference.
Yeah, we used to have mounds of paper. That's right.
Yeah. But we also had a council office that made the copies for us, which doesn't make it more eco sensitive, but we didn't have to do all those packets. So I know the HPOZ boards have gone back paperless. They're retaining their agenda packets.
And if we all have the agenda packets and we make our own copies, that's what I'm doing now. Sarah has her hand up.
Yeah, I wondered about that because obviously trying to keep minutes and such, are we going to be able to have a lot of people on laptops simultaneously? Are we just going to have to see what happens?
Oh, no.
Oh, you mean like have copies of the minutes to hand out for the in-person?
No. I mean, the people who are on computers, is the Wi-Fi going to be able to handle? I mean, I have to be able to take minutes. I guess I can try to do it offline, but I don't. I usually do it through, an online program. So I don't. No. Anyway, so that has crossed my mind. I'm going to have a couple plans in place, but.
I thought you we're talking about minutes for those in-person people. We used to, again, mounds of papers, used to have copies for in our packets for everybody to see. And even with our packets now, we don't have a copy of the minutes. So
We do.
that's something
Yeah, we put the minutes usually on the screen.
on the screen. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't have the
Yeah.
paper. Yes.
No. Yeah, I figured it's one of those things where we need to talk about how we are going to have people prepare for the meetings probably. No, I'm talking about in the meeting as far as streaming capability. And again, we may not know the capability of the Wi-Fi until we, test it.
Chris has her hand up.
I was gonna ask, so if we bring
Chris.
our laptop, if we bring our laptops to our in-person meeting, will we have the ability to log, because I was thinking we weren't gonna have paper, so I wasn't trying to, I didn't know if we had a screen or if we can bring our own laptops and we'll be able to have screen sharing, how information is going to be handled.
All good questions. Do we know, Greg?
Well, I would say that for the first meeting, I should have some hard copies, but I would say people should bring their laptops to test it out.
Okay.
And then we'll collect data on how well it works.
Mm.
I'm pretty, well, again, this is wishful thinking, but yeah, hopefully it can handle all of us being on. It's not like it's that many of us being on the system. So we have some paper. I can print, I would say a minimum of 10 copies from home to bring that in. But yeah, bring your laptops and let's see. And then again, we'll project also. We might have to have extended projection time for people to see. Can you pull that up again? So yes. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I just again, all good questions, and we'll collect data and adjust and
Teresa.
Thank you, Paula. Yes, I do think we should have a minimum of hard copies. I don't know if it's 10, but certainly at least 5 complete packets, or because there could be people there who did not review it online or don't have access to get online. So we need a full packet so they can just share it and pass it around the room. This is just for community members. At the South Seas House, we have a T1 line. So we have very fast internet speed there. It is a Wi-Fi system at Gramercy. I've used it, and so far it's been fine. I haven't had any hiccups. But if we have 10 people with laptops open, I'm not quite sure how strong that's going to be. But as Rick said, we'll just work it out. I'm trying to figure out, why do people need laptops? What is we have a laptop that is with our system. So Greg or Paula, whoever is chairing that meeting, can pull up and look at the agenda, and then they can share the documents in the packet. So do other people need laptops? Am I missing something?
Are they sharing by projecting it to a screen? How are they?
Yes, it's a huge monitor.
That's what we asked. Great.
Oh,
yeah.
But then yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah,
it would be fine as long as it's up before the people. Yeah.
The only thing is that and again, I guess it would be for the convenience of the individual to look at the agenda packet while they're in the meeting, for the convenience. And then if we see that is a strain on the system, then we can say, limit that. So that's my only thought for people bringing the laptop for their own convenience.
There is a Wi-Fi password that she gave me. I will ask her if it will be something that we can share with everybody in the room. But it is a special one that she just gave to me to do the test. So I'm not sure which one she wants to give out that password to everybody in the room. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Laura, you have your hand up?
Yes, I do. So pre-pandemic and pre-hybrid Zoom, the way it was presentations were handled at Cultural Heritage Commission is that you would bring your flash drive and hand it to the tech person. So even though you were doing a presentation, somebody else was moving the slides forward. So we have a couple of different needs. Sarah's saying, I think she thinks she writes her minutes online, right, in a system. So she would need Wi-Fi.
Yes, accurate.
Chris was saying she likes to look at stuff in the agenda packet, which is online during the meeting. And then I'm thinking that for planning and zoning kind of things or funding requests, that there are presentations. So I would say we would need to just tell our board members, please download what you're going to want to look at onto your computer. Go ahead and bring your computer, but be looking at it on your hard drive and not in the online packet. So I think we should eliminate that Wi-Fi. We can't eliminate it necessarily for our public members who can't tell in advance, but we should ask our board members not to do that. In terms of applicants, they may also be at their home office and just not in our room anyway. So that one we need to play by ear, but we have to know that funding applicants and land use applicants almost always have presentations. And I don't know what to say to Sarah. Well, I do know what to say to Sarah. If you had a mobile hotspot on your phone, that might be, then you're not using the house Wi-Fi, you're using your own. I mean, that I feel like that's what I might try to do. Because I do feel we shouldn't all be trying to tap into one Wi-Fi. It'll take us back to April 2020 when nobody could get into the internet because their whole block was trying to use the same, lines. And I think it would overcome the system. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Wow, there's still so many things to consider. And here we are coming up
At 9 o'clock.
April 6th. I mean, we're just a few weeks out.
We're coming up on 9 o'clock.
We're
We're coming up on 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw that, Mr. President.
Just saying.
So
you know what, you guys, we learned how to do Zoom without any lessons at all. We took baby steps and it all worked out, and it's going to happen again with glitches. So that our agenda should say, just like they still do, please be patient. We may have glitches.
Thumbs up.
All right.
Madam Vice President, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting for tonight.
Yes, and I approve that. And it is 8:59. And I thank you all for being here. And so we will meet again on what date is that? March the 28th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then after that, April 6th. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Night. Thank you.
Night. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.